If you've ever watched The Amazing World of Gumball, then you know it has everything. From the sweetest couples ever, like Alan and Carmen, to some stomach-churning pairings like Principal Brown and Miss Simeon. But do you know which couples are the most loved and the most hated in this amazing series?
Hi, Gumball.
Let's kick things off with the most beloved couple of the entire show, no doubt about it, Penny and Gumball, better known to fans as Penball. That's the mashup of their names that pretty much defines their whole ship. The blue cat has always been head over heels for the shape-shifting fairy who spent most of her life trapped inside a peanut shell. And it was thanks to our main character that she finally broke free from her shell and never looked back, as we saw in the Fitzgerald family reunion in Season 7. But way before that, in The Flower, back when they weren't even dating, Gumball got totally obsessed with taking down Leslie, thinking he was into Penny. Why? Because Gumball was possessed by the spirit of jealousy. To prove she liked him back, Penny herself, also under the spirit of jealousy, got annoyed when Gumball was chatting with Carrie. But honestly, nothing in the entire series tops what happens in the shell. Just when the two are about to share their very first kiss, Gumball accidentally bumps Penny's head, causing a small crack in her peanut shell. That ends up breaking the shell completely, finally revealing her true form and leading to their first real passionate kiss. Since then, their relationship has been going strong, except, of course, for that time Tobias tried to steal Penny away from Gumball under the wild influence of Mr. Small and his absolutely bonkers predictions. Their bond is so solid that the series has even shown us a glimpse of their future wedding and the birth of their first child, who's very likely to become the very first member of the next generation of the show. Moving along our list, the second favorite couple has to be Darwin and Carrie, affectionately nicknamed Carwin. They're living proof that love knows no limits, not even the line between the world of the living and the world of ghosts. In Season 7, we see how the little goldfish is a hopeless romantic, while Carrie, on the other hand, wants nothing to do with cheesy displays of affection. This almost sparks a mini-apocalypse in Elmore that feels straight out of Stranger Things, but luckily it all works out in the end. But way before all that, Darwin and Carrie were already a thing, and not everyone remembers how it all started. It goes back to Halloween in Season 2, when Carrie drags Gumball and Darwin into a ghost party. Once Darwin turns into a ghost too, he plants a huge kiss on his classmate, leaving her totally blushing. The couple is officially confirmed in The Matchmaker, when Carrie finally admits her feelings. The two shyly confess to each other, and while it's not the most romantic scene in the world, it's ridiculously cute and marks the true start of their relationship. At the end of the day, Darwin and Carrie prove that there's no such thing as an impossible couple. One is pure sunshine and joy, the other is literally a ghostly spirit. But together, they balance each other out, and it's exactly this unlikely combo that makes them one of the most memorable and fan-favorite couples in the whole show.
I can still see, but I don't mind.
Now let's talk about the couple that, if they didn't exist, we also wouldn't have Gumball, Anais, and Darwin to make us laugh and smile. Nicole and Richard are practically the heart and the stomach of the Watterson family. They first met when they were still young, back when Nicole was pretty much a martial arts master even though she was just a teenager, and Richard was already the king of laziness. The funniest part is that even though they were complete opposites, they ended up falling in love. And here's the curious part. No one really understands how this relationship actually works, but somehow it does. There are several moments in the show that prove how this couple, even with all their differences, actually works. For example, in the episode The Issue from Season 7, we see Richard trying everything he can to remember what Nicole asked him to do. After trying all sorts of things, he finally realizes that what she wanted was simply to have a romantic dinner with her beloved, chubby husband, which ends up happening completely by accident, in true Watterson fashion. At the end of the day, Nicole and Richard represent that classic cartoon couple where opposites attract. She's discipline, he's chaos, she's focus, he's distraction. But together, they built a chaotic, hilarious family that's also full of love. Carmen and Alan are definitely the most exotic couple in all of Elmore. After all, they're living proof that nothing is impossible because we all know that if a balloon hugs a little cactus, he'll instantly pop. But that's the beauty of Elmore's craziness, isn't it? From the very first time we see them together, they're already in a steady relationship, full of motivational quotes, hugs, and that constant we're everyone's best friends kind of vibe. Their relationship is so sweet and over the top that it makes Gumball and Darwin shiver with disgust at just how much love is dripping from every compliment they throw at each other. Alan loves Carmen so much that when Gumball holds the little cactus's hand, Alan gives the blue cat such a look that we almost forget he's supposed to be the nicest guy in Elmore. At the end of the day, Carmen and Alan are the perfect satire of the model sweetheart couple. They try so hard to be the kings of morals and perfection, but in the middle of Elmore's chaos, there's no such thing as a perfect couple. Only couples that somehow make it work in their own way. And like it or not, it's impossible not to laugh and kind of root for the way they struggle to keep up that image. Now we're about to start talking about the couples that nobody really likes. But before we dive in, if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Even though romantic relationships between coworkers are usually off limits, it seems like it's no problem if you happen to be the school principal and a teacher who's apparently about 500,000 years old. Principal Brown and Miss Simeon are completely mutually in love with each other. This is confirmed when they kiss and share a romantic moment in The Burden. Their relationship gets tested in the apology, where they're separated because Simeon refuses to apologize for wrongly accusing Gumball and Darwin of being troublemakers, and again in the fraud when Brown tries to blow up the school just to protect his secret, that he isn't actually a qualified school principal. The wish is probably the toughest test their relationship has ever gone through. In that episode, the two are seen on a date at the edge of a cliff. Even after Brown admits he actually meant to take them to the dump, Simeon remains unfazed, simply happy to spend time with him. She asks him to say 3 words, hinting that she wants him to say he loves her. But Brown panics, and the moment is cut short when their car rolls off the cliff. Believing he's refusing to open up to her, Simeon decides to take a vacation to get some space from the relationship. After a little time and a whole lot of craziness, Gumball and Darwin convince the principal that he needs to tell Miss Simeon he loves her. Right when Simeon is about to leave, she overhears Brown confessing what he thinks she'll never hear. She's deeply touched, and the two reconcile, driving off together in their car. Their relationship takes a nosedive again in the Inquisition. The two break up because Miss Simeon wants to suck up to the new superintendent. They're never actually shown getting back together, although it's safe to assume Simeon didn't want to stick with the superintendent once it was revealed he was actually Rob, a literal kid. Even so, they eventually resume dating and are shown being extremely affectionate in public, like in The Weirdo. Right after the school staff couple from Elmore, the pair that fans dislike the most has to be Mr. and Mrs. Robinson. The Wattersons' neighbors are what you could call the show's #1 sociopathic couple. From the very first appearances, it's clear that Mrs. Robinson is bitter, cranky, and seems to enjoy tormenting her neighbors, especially Gumball and Darwin. Her most common smile isn't out of happiness, but pure delight in her own cruelty. She's that type of neighbor who, if she could, would have already kicked the entire Watterson family out of the neighborhood. Mr. Robinson, on the other hand, does have calmer moments, but he's not exactly a nice guy either. He just looks like a saint compared to her. Many times he tries to live a normal life, taking care of his car, or just relaxing at home. But Mrs. Robinson is always there to remind him that being nice is not part of the family's style. A good example of this contrast comes in episodes like The Neighbors, where we see just how much the Robinsons absolutely despise the Wattersons and make no effort to hide it. And in The Wicked, the show practically makes official what fans already knew. Mrs. Robinson is the real villain of Elmore. She's portrayed as a truly wicked figure who takes pride in her evil nature and has no intention whatsoever of changing. Worst of all, she's been that way since she was a little girl. What makes this couple so memorable is exactly that dynamic. While other pairs in the series represent love in its many forms, the Robinsons embody a partnership in evil. Mrs. Robinson leads with cruelty, and Mr. Robinson, even though he's more passive, follows along, whether it's out of fear, habit, or even some not-so-hidden pride. We can't forget the couple, or better said, almost couple, that Gumball fans dislike the most of all. Billy and Anais. If you don't remember, Billy is that kid who looks like a blue egg, and just like his mom, thinks he's superior to the rest of Elmore. He has a tendency to mock others, and is noticeably smart, which made him click with Anais, at least for a while, in the episode The Egg. Gumball's younger sister goes on a playdate with Billy, set up by Nicole. They discover they share a lot of interests, and it's even implied that they start to fall for each other. But their short-lived romance ends when Billy admits he doesn't like Daisy the donkey, Anais's favorite stuffed toy. Big mistake, Billy. Even though that was the end for Anais, we later see in the past that Billy is bullying his ex-almost-girlfriend at Elmore Junior High, and she swears she's going to beat him up. But at the end of the episode, he admits he still likes her and is just mad because she doesn't like him back. He realizes he should leave her alone, but Anais literally slams him against the wall, and that pretty much put a permanent end to any chance of this couple ever happening again. Honestly, we can all be grateful for that. That's it for today, but we've left 2 videos on the screen so you can keep hanging out with us. Click on one of them and have fun. Thanks a lot.